And what up, everybody? Welcome back to Fro Publications YouTube channel. On this channel, we talk about zines and DIY publishing, DIY creative lifestyle type shit, how to make art for yourself and distribute it yourself. That's what we talk about. And throughout the time, people graciously send me a lot of the shit they make, and I review it. And today will be one of those days where I sit down, enjoy a cup of coffee, read a bunch of zines, and then review them for the channel. So thank you as always to the people that send these in. And I also want to mention that I did the counting, and this is episode 265 of this project that I have, this art vlog, this DIY creative vlog, and really happy about that. And I want to say special thanks to the homie Lucinda who left this comment yesterday on the channel. Thank you, man. I always appreciate that shit, because like I always tell people, when you are a creative, you kind of live in your own head, in your own space. And a lot of times you don't know if the content you're creating really is connecting with folks. And I think that's why a lot of us, we really do appreciate it when we get any kind of feedback. So I appreciate that shit, man. Thank you. But beyond that, let's go ahead and get into these zines. So first up, we got Beer Stores. This is a zine that was sent to me by the homie Bummer Comics with my contributor copy of the Pickle Jar zine. I will be reviewing Pickle Jar zine a little bit later. But this one was on top of my to review pile, just because I definitely love what the homie Bummer Comics does, Bob Bummer. And basically this is just kind of like if someone was to ask a group of artists, right, because you're all the contributors, a group of artists, give me something that you feel like an ink block that represents a liquor store. And then it's kind of like a mixed media, right? And not two liquor stores look the same. Which, just from like the nostalgia of it, you know what I mean, is very fun to watch and to read. But also from like a social perspective, it's kind of sad that we all have a liquor store. Like, it kind of makes you wonder if the United States really does have a problem with alcohol. But nonetheless, I find it fun and interesting, like I said, from a nostalgia standpoint, as well as a sociological standpoint of how, you know, different people interpret a liquor store, as well as the memories that a liquor store, you know, brings to certain individuals, and like the overlap and then the differences. So I definitely love Beer Stores, and I love, I kind of like how Bob Bummer does these kind of these anthology comic zines, because Pickle Jar zine, when you do peep it out, you guys are gonna see kind of what I'm talking about, this mixed media and this like trying to kind of grasp and tap into a community and a culture that's represented by something, and in this case beer stores, also known as liquor stores. Up next, I want to look at Werido Brigade, Misanthropy, issue number 5. For the most part, this issue is a big zine with a lot of poetry in it. And the poetry, it has more than one people, but if I have to be honest, I want to say the beginning half of this poetry zine is by Jolie Acosta. And as always, there is a little bit of mixed media, but for the most part, like I said, this issue could be considered just straight up poem type zine. And the poems are dope, but if I have to be honest, good lord that I love this intro. This Werido Brigade number 5, Introduction to Misanthropy. Misanthropes aren't all the assholes we are pegged out to be. I grew up in an environment that taught us to trust no one, because if you trust the wrong person, you wind up in an unfortunate situation. Sadly, even people who are close to you can hurt you. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but what I will say is I love this part. And I think this really hits home, and like for the most part, a lot of the poetry in this zine kind of flows off of this idea, which is, this is what it means to be a misanthrope. To be painfully aware of your surroundings and realizing that everything isn't a nice long walk on the happy lane. It is realizing that there is a bad side in the world, It is seeing the dark side of humans. It is walking down a lonely, spiky road. It is being submerged into the reality of how our world really works and knowing that people feel uncomfortable around you because your eyes are wide open to hypocrisy. You are the blinding light of truth that people would rather avoid because then it becomes too real. And in a sense, isn't that the job of the artist? To showcase, to mention, and to bring the uncomfortable truths, whether it's to find the humor in it or to find the underlying maliciousness of it. So I don't know, man. I definitely dug that intro, and the poetry in here is not bad either. So next up we have the latest issue of Werido Brigade called Rebirth. I like this zine. I always feel that the Werido Brigade crew just gets stronger and stronger with their formatting. The print jobs on all of these have always been strong. Like, look at this color in this. It always pops. I'm pretty sure they get these professionally done, because if they're doing it DIY style, this shit is amazing work, and they need to make a video showing how they do this process. The table of contents, I love the sleekness of this. Just looks great. And this one is more art based. Very little poetry in here. There is a few written word pieces that are more like an essay, but definitely my bag. Here goes a piece from the homie Lucinda. His white art on black paper just fucking popped in this page. It definitely, like I always say about the homie Lucinda, like you could just flip through this and you're just going through it, and then just you see it and it just stands out because it's just uniquely Lucinda. And that's kind of one of the things that I really dug about this one, is that it was a slew of different artists, and a lot of it was freeform. It wasn't necessarily constructed in a way where they were all following a narrative, kind of like to contrast it with something like Beer Stores, where there was an overlying theme that all the artists kind of followed. This one is a lot more freeform, and it's kind of like the artist was just given the time and space to create. And I like it. I like this kind of mashup, right? Like an anthology like this is kind of for you. Like I always say, an anthology is should be something like this for you to find an artist that you connect with, follow up on that, and continuously, do that long enough that you're surround yourself with kind of like, like a peer group that definitely is making art, or kind of an art house style that you all kind of agree on. So definitely dug it. But that concludes today's zine review. And that concludes today's zine review. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Expect more zine reviews throughout this week. And I kind of wanted to also mention one thing, that I got a new family member. Boom. This is a cat that has just joined our family. And I'm always trying to socialize this guy with my other cats that I've had for years. And it has not been easy. Hey, man! But that wasn't cool. You shouldn't have socked my buddy Batman like that. But that's it, man. That's all I got for you guys today, man. Thank you so much for watching. Please like, share, subscribe. And I will be seeing you tomorrow. All right, you guys. Lates.